Cops trick killer into thinking the victim survived. I'm down to watch this.
You are watching was recorded just moments after 17-year-old Benjamin Elliott brutally stabbed his twin sister while
Oh my God.
sleepwalking.
Where's your son?
Sleepwalking.
Okay, we got it. EMS is coming.
The officers follow Ben's dad and discover Ben desperately trying to save his sister's life. After doing chest compressions
Why
for
is the
about
cop
10 minutes,
watching him do
EMS
it? Don't they
finally
do that
arrives
shit?
and takes over.
Okay, sir, can we take over? Can you step out? Thank you.
His parents, Michael and Kathy, were sleeping in another room when the stabbing took place, so they had no idea what was going on.
I've heard of things where people are like, oh, they killed him while they're sleepwalking, or I think I heard this podcast once about this guy who killed his kids while sleepwalking and he didn't know. But it's like, is that even really is that possible? Because that's terrifying if that's true. I don't want to sleep ever again. What if I accidentally kill someone?
Dream. He said it was a dream, honey. What the?
Oh
Ben
no.
also made this claim about dreaming.
He's trolling,
moments
bro.
Earlier, when he called 911.
Harris County 911, what's the location of your emergency?
I just killed my sister. I thought it was a dream.
What's your name?
I just killed my sister.
I don't buy it. There's no
Exactly what
fucking way.
I stabbed her. I stabbed her in the neck. I thought it was a dream. Please, I don't want her to die.
I slept walk into my basement once and I woke up like in the pitch black basement. It was fucking scary
How old is she?
when I was little.
17, we're twins.
Is she awake?
Yes, she's like barely alive.
After noticing that
It was
Ben
so
was
scary.
whispering into the phone, the dispatcher wondered if there was anybody else inside the house.
Is there anyone else there in the house with you?
There is, it's my parents, but they're asleep.
Okay, I need you to go wake them up.
Mom! Dad! What's going on? You what?
Ben's half asleep
That's
father
insane.
then rushed into the room.
That's
and
absolutely
found
fucking
Megan
insane.
lying on her bed, covered in blood.
Oh my God!
I could see Megan's face. She was gray and just I thought that she was gone.
We're gonna have to start CPR right now. 1, 2, 3, 4.
As you already saw, EMS took over CPR when they arrived at the house. Officers then placed Ben in handcuffs and escorted him outside.
He said it was a dream, honey. What the? I don't know. I don't know what this she's on. It was just a dream, and then it wasn't.
I'm gonna do a search of you real quick, and then I'm gonna put you in the
That
back
is
seat and I'll just
insane
let
though,
you
if that's like how that works.
While Ben waited in the back of a police cruiser, the police were still inside the house trying to console his parents.
What the? Never been anything wrong with him at all.
Although they desperately wanted to understand why this happened, their biggest concern right now was the state of their daughter Megan.
I just need to see her.
See her.
We can't.
Was it a dream where he get the knife? I guess I dreamt walking into the kitchen.
Yeah, can we see something?
No, sir.
After being denied any more access to their dying daughter, Michael and Kathy were then forced to exit the house. Shortly after, Megan was pronounced dead. While the forensics unit took over the Elliott household,
Jesus
Ben was
Christ.
taken down to the sheriff's office. His bloody arms and hands were photographed, and his clothes were collected as evidence. He was then taken to an interrogation
Narrator
room
sounds
for
Canadian.
an
I know. He says out. Out.
interview. While he
noticed that
waited
too.
for the detective, his demeanor was strangely calm and collected for someone who had just stabbed their sister. However, it is possible that Ben was just in shock after going through such a traumatic event. Detective Freder Munoz eventually arrived, and Ben immediately asked how Megan was doing.
Is she okay? Yeah, last time I know about, she was being checked out by the EMS.
She is okay.
At this point, the detective was well aware that Megan was dead, but he's intentionally withholding this information to keep Ben talking.
So what happened, Benjamin?
You ever have like a really realistic nightmare where like just everything feels real?
No. I mean,
but
yeah, I
also
guess,
awful
kinda.
at the same time?
Although Ben has never done anything this violent in the past, this wasn't his first sleepwalking episode. In one incident, Ben unconsciously wandered into the bedroom where both of his sisters were sleeping. He then stood in the doorway in a sinister way.
Ben was standing in the doorway, not moving, just kind of staring at us. His eyes were like they're barely open.
What the
and then we
fuck?
told him to go back to bed. And he just turned around and went to bed. We told our parents the next morning, and Ben had no memory at all.
Another time at a childhood
No, that's
sleepover,
terrifying.
his friend found him eating a donut in the middle of the night, completely unconscious.
Okay, that's
You
valid.
had to have gone walk over to the stove top, open the box, grab a donut, and then walk back to the couch where he was sleeping earlier. Just the sheer confusion on his face, like he
I had a neighbor who had
seemed
severe
baffled.
sleep issues when we woke up one night and he was in our kitchen. Oh my, eating cat food. We forgot to lock our door and he had no idea what he was doing. No, my God, I would never sleep again. I would have to move. I would never sleep again. Oh my God.
How that happened.
Ben tried to describe how he felt during these recurring episodes and explained that he was unaware of what he was doing until waking up. But the detective wasn't buying it. He asked
Damn.
Ben to provide a more detailed play-by-play of the night. Apparently, before Ben went to bed, he and his dad were playing a video game, which happened to be called Survive the Nights. His
Survive the
dad
Nights.
noticed that one of the knives in the game looked similar to a knife that he owned in real life, so he told Ben that he could have it.
Oh, no.
The knife that you had in your hands, where'd you get it from?
Oh, that poor dad, dude, is just going to be like, damn. What if I never gave him that knife? But it's like, obviously, it's not his fault.
That day, I was really enamored with it.
Once everybody went to bed, Ben stayed up late on his phone researching more outdoor survival gear and scrolling through Reddit.
Where would that phone be at? right now?
Reddit.
Somewhere at the crime scene.
Everything's
Ben
adding
is
up right
claiming
now.
that This was all
This
an
might not have been a
accident, that he
sleepwalking
didn't
mistake,
commit a
guys.
crime, yet he just referred to his house as a crime scene. The detective noted this potential slip-up and listened carefully for others in Ben's timeline of events. The next thing Ben said was that after browsing the web for a while,
True
he
crime. We
fell
might
asleep
watch a
at
little bit
around
of true crime once I finish this video, yeah.
3:30
I'll
a.m.
consider
So
it.
you go to sleep. What's the next thing you remember?
The next thing I remember is like the feeling of stabbing something.
As soon as Ben stabbed Megan, he became aware that he was sleepwalking and realized what he had done.
I was in her room and I turned on the light and I was panicking and I tried to stop bleeding. The pillow that was behind her, I did that.
After about 10 seconds, he realized his efforts weren't working, so he called 911 for help.
So I run in my room and I unplug my phone and I dial 911.
How many times did you stab her?
Just once.
The Resident Evil 2 on the
Ben stabbed
TV, yeah.
Megan not once, but twice. Sleepwalkers almost always have a clouded memory following an episode, so maybe Ben was asleep when he stabbed his sister. But the detective refused to believe this bizarre explanation. He wondered if the twins had any underlying issues that could have motivated Ben to do this.
So how's your relationship with Megan?
Good. She's my twin sister. I'd do anything for her.
That
We're
sounded
pretty
fucking
close
forced.
siblings.
No rivalry there?
No.
You guys having any recent fights or anything like that?
No.
If he didn't have issues with Megan, maybe he had a mental illness that caused a violent outburst.
Have you ever been diagnosed with any mental illnesses?
No.
According to Ben, everything was hunky-dory. He did say that he was
Right, you can't be
struggling with
making a
school.
serious ass video like this and then just throw in the word hunky dory, okay?
I've had some issues with
not-
school stuff.
It's not how it works. There
sometimes.
could have
But
been a
his
better
problems
word
at
there.
School were pretty minor.
He got everything was fine. Everything was okay. Everything was perfect. Anything.
was clearly optimistic.
He said
about his
hunky-dory.
academic future.
I'm thinking about mechanical engineering. I'm taking the SAT, I think, Friday? No,
I don't
Saturday.
think you're taking the
About
SAT
2
anymore,
hours
buddy.
into the interview, the detective finally broke the tragic news about Megan, paying close attention to Ben's reaction.
I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Megan did not make it.
What the
The chilling
hell?
lack of emotion from Ben after being told his twin sister
He just goes, okay, you're locked up. You did it.
was dead immediately.
It's like, if you slept and you genuinely were normal when you were awake and you heard that, you would not, you would freak out.
raised red flags for the detective. Although Ben continued to insist that he was asleep and that the stabbing was an accident, his admission to the killing was enough for the police to charge him with Megan's murder.
Hello, I'm Lynn Cannon.
And good evening to you. I'm Mia Gradney.
A 17-year-old girl is dead after police say she was
I feel like
stabbed.
people try to claim like insanity or just being crazy all the time. But it's like, I feel like it's not as easy as they make it out to be. Where am I? Sorry, my chair was getting stuck on something and I thought I was like riding over something, like a wire. Oh, I am? My iPhone charger. I'm going to break it. Yeah, dude. Like, so many people try to fucking act as if they're like pleading insanity or whatever. They're going to get off because they're crazy. But it's like, I feel like it's so much harder to actually prove that someone's crazy.
In her own bed.
Like, that is
The
not a
person
good
now
way to
facing
go about
charges,
it.
Her twin brother.
Detectives trying to decipher what happened inside this Katy home early this morning. Harris County Sheriff's deputies responded to a 911 call shortly before 5 a.m. Inside, they say they found 17-year-old Megan Elliott stabbed multiple times in her bed, a knife on the ground. Her twin brother.
Yeah, right. They would probably fake it so they don't have to go to jail. I know, but I don't think it like is that easy. I feel like it's so hard to fake it. So like, just don't do the murder, you know?
You really have that kind of bond between.
Because you ain't getting away with it.
We'll have, things happen.
They seem to get along, one neighbor told us in Spanish. Just recently, he saw the twin brother pull out an umbrella to help his twin sister stay dry in the rain. How things went from that to a deadly stabbing has the community wondering what went wrong.
Ben pled not guilty and was released on bond after his family posted his $100,000 bail. Meanwhile, the forensics team was processing the evidence from Megan's room. Strangely, there was very little blood spatter where the killing took place, which was unexpected considering the severity of Megan's stab wounds.
I feel like it's a
Other than
lot
the
of like
death-
teenagers, dude. A lot of teenagers will like try to do the insanity thing, like in these true crime videos that we watch. And it's like, bro, you're not that slick. Like,
the only thing that had a substantial amount of blood on it was the pillow.
the professionals are going to know what to look for. And like, they always just do the cliche, like, I'm crazy signs, you know, and it just doesn't work. Why do they bail them? I mean, it's their kid. It is a crazy thing to happen and have to, like, detach yourself from your kid and not like they probably still love him and they want to figure out what's going on here in the most comfortable way possible. Now, would I do it? Probably not, because first of all, too broke. Second of all, I would not want to be sleeping in the same house as him. But I do understand why some parents would want to.
Ben had supposedly used to manage the bleeding. The investigators believed that the only logical explanation was that Ben was covering Megan's head with the pillow at the time of the attack, blocking the blood from getting everywhere.
Did I post my VODs? Yeah, my VODs on Go Live on Twitch, but then I post shit on YouTube too.
Struggled to believe this claim. They wondered if Ben actually had schizophrenia, just like his grandfather. However,
his grandfather had
after a series
it?
of psychological tests, it was clear that Ben wasn't suffering from any psychological issues. So they brought him to a neurologist named Dr. Gerald Simmons, who specializes in sleep disorders. After several tests, his conclusion was that Ben was likely experiencing a parasomnia episode, specifically sleepwalking, when he killed Megan. Ben's defense team hoped that Dr. Simmons' findings would be enough to have the charges dropped. However, the prosecution made it clear that they were not backing down, and in April of 2023, a grand jury indicted Ben for the first-degree murder of his sister. The prosecutors offered Ben a plea deal. If he pled guilty to first-degree murder, they would limit his sentence to 30 years in prison. Ben turned down this offer, and on February 18th,
Bro, I think he's getting away with it.
3.5 years after Megan's death, his trial began.
All right.
In the prosecution's opening statement, they told the jury that the sleepwalking defense is complete nonsense because Ben's statements contradicted the core principles of sleepwalking.
Number one, you have no short-term memory if you're sleepwalking. The prefrontal cortex of your brain is turned off.
Tell them.
You don't have memories from the moments leading up to sleepwalking. You don't have a memory of the episode itself.
The next thing I remember is, like, the feeling of stabbing something.
Number two, you're not dreaming. You can't. Because the prefrontal cortex in your brain is switched off.
You ever have, like, a really realistic nightmare?
They got his ass.
And you're fine.
They clocked his shit, low-key.
Confusion upon arousal. Disorientation. Not knowing where you are sometimes.
I was in her room, and I turned on the light, and I was panicking, and I tried to stop bleeding with the pillow that was behind her.
On top of all of these inconsistencies, they also pointed out that the state of Megan's body suggested she was dead long before Ben called 911.
She's pale. She's cold. Her lips are turning blue.
Damn.
The only person that knows when the offense occurred is the defendant.
He's gonna claim he was sleeping the whole fucking time.
Ridiculing Ben's behavior throughout his interactions with the police, saying that this alone was extremely incriminating.
He calls 911 at 4:41. Hello? Hello? I stabbed her with a knife.
Why is he fucking like shitting on him? Hello? Hello? Like he's like fucking trying to make him look worse. I mean, yeah, not look. I mean, he's already as bad as it gets. Okay, he killed someone, but the impersonation, dude. He's just not talking normal.
Sorry to tell you this, but Megan has succumbed to her injuries. And the defendant says,
As for the defense,
that is a
they knew
crazy
how
response.
ridiculous their sleepwalking defense was going to sound to the jury. So they showed the jury that their claims are supported by actual science.
Let's get kind of the elephant in the room out of the way. Is this just some made-up baloney as a really creative
Baloney?
defense? The answer is absolutely
Bro,
not.
you're like in a court for like murder and shit. Like you can't say bullshit. Like you can't swear. Is it really that unprofessional? You're talking about dead people here and you're saying baloney? Bro, when I become a lawyer, I'm going to be swearing. Okay. Just you guys wait.
Cases, victims have been
Yo,
stabbed
Pierce
with
out.
knives or hit with blunt objects. Ladies and gentlemen, Ben was not intentionally and knowingly committing acts against his sister.
They also suggested that Ben wasn't trying to whisper during the 911 call. In reality, he was in shock and doing everything in his power to save his sister's life.
He's saying things like, oh my God, I thought it was a dream. No, she's breathing. Please, 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 I don't want her to die.
The prosecution called an assortment of law enforcement and experts to the stand and took the jury through all of the body cam footage, crime scene photos, and blood.
Be my lawyer. I'm going to sue my school. Wait, are you going to get a bunch of money? Because I'll do it.
Introduced their theory that Megan had a pillow over her head at the time of the murder, suggesting that Ben had meticulously thought out a plan to muffle his sister's screams as he killed her. The only
Damn, okay, yeah, no.
An expert or law enforcement.
That ain't no
was Ben's
sleepwalking
father,
thoughts
Michael.
right there.
Right off the bat, the prosecution did
He's trying to get
something
away
that
with it.
shocked the courtroom.
This is a photo taken from an autopsy.
Yeah, that's Megan.
They really got to make him see that?
The state's decision to force Michael to identify his daughter's dead body was reprimanded by many who watched this trial. It's unclear why they couldn't have shown Michael a photo of Megan when she was alive, but some believe that the state simply wanted to torment Michael for supporting his killer's son. They rested their case, and it was now the defense's turn. They focused on the state's biggest weakness, their lack of motive. They called several character witnesses to the stand to show that Ben was a consistently good kid, and that his relationship with his sister was loving.
Ever notice that if the sweet kid or the tender kid change into somebody else?
Absolutely not.
Did you ever know Ben to have any violent tendencies towards Megan?
No. The biggest drama they had was like Ben being a know-it-all when they play video games. And I feel like that's pretty regular. Like,
That's valid.
They also had multiple people testify to Ben's previous sleepwalking experiences to show that this wasn't something Ben just made up to get away with murder.
Ben was
I mean, that is interesting with like her dealing with the sleepwalking and then that guy also dealing with the sleepwalking.
I'm not moving, just kind of staring at us.
He was lying on the couch, his head on the armrest, facing my way, and he was eating a donut.
In fact, members of Ben's family testified about their own parasomnia experiences as well, including his great-aunt Martha.
All I know is I came to in the bushes clutching my dog.
Apparently,
And then the
sleepwalking
uncle
was
or
a
whatever
common
had
parasomnia within the Elliott family. According to Dr. Simmons,
some shit,
this increased the odds
schizophrenia or
of Ben
something?
having the same sleep disorder. Dr. Simmons gave an in-depth analysis about the sleep studies he conducted with Ben and explained why he believed Ben was telling the truth. There were two important observations about Ben's sleep patterns. The first important observation is that Ben had obstructed sleep apnea, which can trigger a sleepwalking episode. However, sleepwalking can only occur in stage N3 of your sleep cycle.
Why
which
do they
brings
all
us to
have double chins?
observation
Okay, come on. I mean, like, there's some families are just bigger people.
Number 2. During Ben's sleep cycle, he entered stage N3 in about 11
There's nothing wrong with
minutes,
that.
much faster than the average person. This is important because although Ben thought he fell asleep around 3:30 a.m., his phone activity actually stopped at 4:17 a.m., 24 minutes before he called 911. This meant that Ben only had 24 minutes to fall asleep, enter stage N3, and kill his sister. For an average person, this wasn't nearly enough time.
Do you guys
But
believe it?
since
Like,
Ben-
I guess not believe in, because I guess it's real as fuck. But like the sleep cycle shit, where it's like, you ever see those apps that like track your sleep cycles and like wake you up? The alarm will wake you up when you're in like you're supposed to be woken up, so you don't wake up tired. How does that shit work? Because sometimes you know you get a lot of sleep and you wake up and you're fucking exhausted. Sometimes you wake up perfectly. And like you're like, oh man, that was a perfect time to wake up. I'm like super well rested. I don't know how any of that works, but I feel like if I actually try to like understand it, I could sleep so much better.
Entered N3 sleep unusually fast. This theory was totally plausible.
And what is your opinion about the events?
But there's like phone apps that track it. I don't get that. How does it track my breathing though? Like if I put the phone on the bed, does it hear me? Like what does it even?
It was a perfect
I don't get it.
storm of circumstances. This was an event was a parasomnia.
In the rebuttal phase of the trial, the prosecution had the opportunity to call their own
Smartwatches?
sleep expert
I
to
get
the
that. I
stand,
would not be able to sleep with a
Dr.
watch on,
Martin
though.
Pressman. He believed that whether or not the defense's sleepwalking theory was possible, it was irrefutably debunked by Ben's recollection of that night.
They track sleep farts too? Really? I wouldn't want that. I think I'm a sleep farter. I really do. Like I rip ass in my sleep.
In a sleepwalking state.
How did you come to that conclusion?
He had memory. He is said to have come out of the state much faster than any sleepwalker could ever do.
After 4 days of testimony, it was time for the closing arguments.
Benjamin Elliott walked into his sister's room with this very knife, and he stabbed her in the neck twice. There's no blood spraying in the room. You know why? The only thing soaked in blood is the pillow that he muffled her screams with.
How could a kid who cherishes his sister, who loves her, who protects her, how could someone commit a crime that heinous unless there was a reasonable explanation?
Mr. Rucker and I have disproven what they have tried to sell you.
All them boiled eggs.
Their
No, but I'm new to the
narrative of
hard-boiled
what
egg
The
grind.
biggest thing that they're hanging their hat on is the lack of motive. While I didn't give you motive, I did show you premeditation.
If you're a defense lawyer for like a murderer, do you have to like, and you know they did it, do you still have to try to find ways to make them get away with it? Because that's crazy. That's a crazy job.
Coincidence that the knife he used to kill his sister was the very knife he got the day before. They have been protecting him from the get-go. I'm a mother. I understand wanting to protect your children. I get it, but you can't let them get away with it.
Yes,
I
because
want you
they
to
pay.
look in this-
That's fucking crazy, though. Like that's someone's job to be like, all right, let's try to get you let you get away with this murder. Like I get, yeah, like lessen the sentence. Sometimes there's just too much evidence, and it's like we're just gonna. This is the best route. Let's lessen the sentence. But it's like if there is any wiggle room, you're like, let's try to run it. Let's get you out of prison, buddy. You pay me a ton of money, and I'll get you away with murder. Like that's someone's job. That's got to be illegal.
Courtroom.
But I get it. You need a defense. Like that is fair.
There are so many people here for Benjamin. There is not one person here for Megan.
I'm going to object to that.
Following this intense battle, Ben gave his mom a hug outside of
Why
the
are they
courtroom.
so against the fucking parents though? They're like I don't really know if I buy the whole sleepwalking thing, but like they're so anti against the parents. Like they showed the photo, they fucking said that little remark at the end. Like the parents are like, yeah, they're supporting their son who did kill their daughter, but like, bro, you can't be like on their shit like that. They're going through so much.
Knowing that it might be his last. After just 4 hours of deliberation, the jury had reached their verdict.
All right, jury.
We, the jury, find the defendant Benjamin David Elliott guilty of murder as charged in the indictment signed by the foreman of the jury.
Ben sat emotionless as his guilty verdict was read aloud by the judge. His parents were in disbelief as they watched from the benches. Ben's sentencing took place the next day, on February 25th, 2025. The prosecution pressed the judge.
And they
to
just
give
use a
Ben-
lie detector. I don't think lie detectors fly in court. I don't think they're like reliable.
And 40 years in prison,
But I'm not 100%
saying that
sure.
he clearly had no remorse for his actions. On the contrary, the defense called Michael's dad to the stand once again, trying to convince the judge to hand down the minimum sentence of 5 years.
The argument was made that your son has shown no remorse.
Why is the dad shocked? I mean, his son's going to jail for life.
How would you answer that argument?
That is stunningly untrue. He has been frustrated. He's been angry. He's been incredibly sad. He's broken down. Literally.
Yeah, they're losing both their kids essentially. Yeah.
Now the court has a decision on punishment.
It's only 5 years. Wait, they only give him 5 years? Did I miss that?
Tell the judge, knowing your daughter, how you think she would want this to play out.
She would want lenience. She would want compassion for Ben.
After taking everything into consideration, the judge handed down Ben's sentence.
I look at what the jury has told me, and unsolicited, they told me to be lenient with Mr. Elliott. Stand up, Mr. Elliott.
On the 911 call, the reaction, I mean, they seemed pretty in shock on the 911 call. They did, wait, not only 5 years? Oh, he's trying to convince them for only 5 years. Like, that's the minimum.
5 years to 99, I sentence you to 15 years in prison.
Oh, you got 15.
Benjamin Elliott was sent to the Connolly unit in Kennedy, Texas, where he will remain until the year 20...
I mean, bro, he's going to be out in his 30s. That's like, honestly, like, for killing someone, that's like not the worst. He's only 17. He'll be out, what, 32? Is my math correct? That's not bad. That is not bad for, like, if he actually did it. I mean, I don't know. It is interesting, like the way that like the other family has dealt with him sleepwalking, and that they've also had sleepwalking problems and shit. Wild, absolutely wild. You heard that? Yeah, I know, my chair. I need WD-40 for my chair.